City Apartments. It's in Midtown Manhattan at 142 West 49th Street. It is within easy walking distance of Times Square. Within walking distance of so many things here. I'm going to be able to check out a lot of the top-rated food carts. I'm going to be able to easily walk to my tour of Rockefeller Center. So many things. All right, let's get out into the city. That traditional key. Okay, let's take a look at room 1103 at Radio City Apartments in Manhattan, New York City. Here, right next to the front door, is a bar with hangers. There's a luggage rack. Here, bed and end table. Let's take a look at what's on the end table. Clock, light, telephone, notepad with pen. It's a small drawer. 4 pillows, and this guy. Over here, we've got a nice little table with chairs to sit at. Ironing board. That's the door to the bathroom. We'll take a look in there. Full-length mirror next to the window. There's the window. We've got an air conditioning unit. Now it's cold here today, so I don't need this, but it's possible if it was hotter that might be, you know, something to consider. Lots of buildings here in an older city like this are going to be using these window units instead of having central air. Okay, but here is one of the bigger things. We don't just have a microwave. We don't just have a refrigerator. This is a whole kitchenette here. Look at this, and this is nice. I mean, it's a smaller oven, but I mean, I can't imagine I'm going to be using the stove while I'm here, but it's a nice thing to have. And look, they even include things for you to use in the kitchen. Look, see, I've got cups and mugs. I've got bowls and plates. Let's see what else we've got here. Silverware. Yeah. All the stuff you need. A toaster, pots and pans. There's your sink. Let's run it. That's nice. That's hanging loose, but I don't care. Small coffee pot. Let's take a look at the size of that. See, it's only just a little bit bigger than my hand. That's a smaller one. That's okay for all our coffee lovers. But that is very nice. I'm sure there are going to be things that I don't finish and I bring back that I'll be able to put in a refrigerator, heat up, and have plates and bowls to put it in, and a fork or a spoon to eat it with. That's the problem quite often when you're at a place that has a microwave and a small refrigerator. Quite often you don't have a fork. Flat screen TV. Nice deep drawers. 1, 2, 3 very similar drawers. I think they might be pretty much the same. 3 drawers. That's nice. That's nice. Let's take a look in the bathroom. There we go. There's a big old window here in the bathroom. All the way to the ceiling from just below waist height. You're probably gonna want to use this to close that up when you're coming out of the shower. But when you're fully dressed, why not have it open, let the sun in? Okay. Small Conair hair dryer. Shower cap. That's right there with the traditional key, isn't it? Okay. I have not showered in here yet, but I might get back to you with a review on that. That doesn't look great. That's a little bit on the dirty side. Okay, but that's a small thing. Overall, I'm pretty pleased so far. Guys at the front are pretty nice. All right. Let's look for outlets. Okay, there's an outlet here on this lamp. 2 outlets there. Let's see, a couple outlets behind it. Okay, we'll check those out. Make sure that they're operating well. Well, let me have a look around. I'm not seeing, okay, here's some outlets here under this table. That's good. I was hoping there might be one along the wall here, but I don't see one. But that's not bad. There are outlets. Well, one outlet if you're using the coffee maker. And there's one more outlet here in the kitchen. Okay, all right, so not bad. Not bad. It's in a great location. It's a beautiful building. And boy, this is not the sort of closet that I've stayed in at some other places. And the price is not far off from what I've paid for those closets. I'm pretty pleased so far. This is a non-smoking room. Might be a non-smoking hotel altogether. It is an older building. No smoking here. If that's a deal breaker for you, then this isn't the place for you. It's just about time to check out. I've had a good visit here. I have overall positive feelings about my stay at Radio City Apartments. It's reasonably priced for its location, which again is at 49th Street, right in Midtown. Easy walk to Times Square and the theater district. Right next to one of the main subway hubs. Really, really convenient that. So wonderful location. I do have a few little nitpicks, which I'm going to share here. Those nitpicks include in the bathroom. Now, this is an older building. So water heater, it takes a couple of minutes of wait time before you're able to get hot water. So just be patient. Be patient, you will get hot water. I was never left without hot water, but it did take a couple minutes wait. Over here is sort of an odd thing. You see how the window here has these blinds, and they come way down here. But look, see, there's a gap here. See, I've been putting this towel here because there's a visual gap right here, about, I don't know, 4 inches right there. And there's nothing to do about it. It's just there. There's no way that I can figure to make the blinds go down. Now, you can open them and close them using this. See, I can open the blinds like that. But see, there's no string over here or anything to get the blinds to go any lower than they are right now. So that's in the bathroom. See here, right next to the toilet? That's maybe a little bit of a privacy issue. Now, it's a huge city and probably nobody's paying attention, but I understand why that would bother some people. I put the towel there every time. And of course, every time the staff would come in and do my linens and everything, they would grab that towel and move it. They just saw a towel. They weren't trying to do anything, but I would have to put it back there basically every day. Okay, so let's come over here to the main room. That's the bathroom. Okay, minor thing, again with the window. Now, our AC unit is right here. Okay, there's where it's pumping out nice, cool air. It did a great job. I was cool all the time. I had a nice temperature in here. No problem with that. The problem is with the curtain. See, if you want to close the curtain, let's close the curtain. Well, now you're covering up the AC unit where it's pumping out the nice air. Okay, but if you want the air, then you got to open the curtain. And now you've got light coming in. So you got to pick your poison. Either there's going to be some light coming in, and it's not super terrible because, you know, the bed's way over there, sort of around a corner just a little bit, but I was getting sun in here. Not direct sun, but light. So you either have some light coming in or you're blocking off your air. So I don't know, maybe they should hem this right along here so it doesn't hang down all that way. Maybe so it hangs down at this level, and then you can have the best of both worlds. But that's not how it is right now. Okay, because of the placement of the microwave, it's kind of hard to open it and close it and use it. I mean, if you got both hands, then it's not that big of an issue, but see, you push it and see it hits here on the top of the refrigerator. You kind of have to drag it across the top of the refrigerator. And there's been a couple of times where I tried to push the button and the whole unit just sort of shifted back. So I had to use both hands to hold it and then push the button and then drag it across the top of the refrigerator like that. That said, it's a perfectly good microwave. I made use of it. I appreciated having it. Same with this medium-sized refrigerator. Made use of that refrigerator. Excellent. It is a little dinged up. You know, maybe they could replace that at some point, but it's still functioning. People have just sort of been rough with it maybe, and it's been a tiny bit dinged up on the outside. I also made use of silverware. It was nice to have that here, rather than having to eat with the plastic forks that vendors give you, and the sink. So all that was good. But of course we're on the we're on the negatives right now, but I'm just peppering those in to show you that I appreciated this room overall. Let's talk about the key. Let's talk about the keys. All right. As I mentioned before, we've got traditional metal keys. Then there's two of them. Now it's not two copies of the same key. It's one copy of two different keys, but they look almost exactly the same. If you're, you know, reaching in your pocket at the end of the day, you can't really look at it in the hallway and figure out which is which. You just kind of have to try. You try one in the top lock, all right? And if it's not the right one, then you have to switch over to the other one and use that one. Then you have to switch over again to unlock the knob lock. And you know, it was about 50-50 whether I had the right lock, the right key the first time. It's a mild inconvenience, but not something that was a huge issue for me. And then I think I mentioned it when I first arrived. The clothes hanging rack right here, it's just a little close here to the bed. I know they've got limited space in this unit, so they probably did the best they could. But if you're bringing hanging clothes, which I did, and you're hanging them up here, it's, you know, you can get through there. You can get through there, but think about getting up in the middle of the night. and you're getting out of bed, and there's your clothes. You gotta sort of sidestep them. Okay. Again, not a huge issue. Would not affect my decision to stay here again. Just something worth noting. And that's it. That's really it. Otherwise, I had a wonderful stay at Radio City Apartments. It's in a great location. This room is wonderful. I mean, it's not one of those gorgeous high-end, you're not staying at the Ritz, you know, but very clean, very nice, spacious, spacious beyond what you'll usually get in a lot of New York City hotel rooms. Cleaner than you'll get in some. and there's more to it. I mean, I've got this kitchenette here, which was useful. So this was a thumbs up. I would stay here again, absolutely. Goodbye, 1103.